2021, Prime Minister Trudeau infamously said, "You'll forgive me if I don't think about monetary policy." Unfortunately, Trudeau in that case was actually being absolutely honest. He doesn't think about monetary policies, and the cost for his willful ignorance is going to be borne for generations. And no, we shouldn't bloody well forgive him. We should be trying to find a way to get that incompetent, unprincipled boob out of office as soon as possible. The economic canary in the coal mine in Canada has been dead for years. The warnings were clear. Canada was on a path to economic catastrophe, but the Trudeau government ignored the signs and charged ahead with their agenda of mass spending coupled with mass immigration. I mean, this is a government on the ropes. Their popularity levels are rivaling the end of the Mulroney government when they ended up getting wiped out down to 2 seats under Kim Campbell. And instead of reevaluating what they're doing, they're doubling down with what they've already been doing, and it's making it worse. So, I mean, as the government continued with its policy of borrowing money and pouring it into the economy, guess what? Inflation followed. That's economics 101. But remember, Trudeau doesn't think about monetary policy. So action, reaction, to try and counter the inflation problems, the Bank of Canada has been cranking up interest rates. And yeah, that does slow inflation, but that's because it slows the entire economy. As businesses defer capital investment and housing starts slow down. I mean, to counter the economic slowdown and the risk of recession that comes with that, the government then has opened the floodgates to mass immigration. Sure, new immigrants bring skills and resources that do, in the short term, spur the economy, but they also consume resources. The influx of new Canadians has led to a housing crisis. And of course, with the interest rates rising and housing prices going through the roof, mortgage delinquency rates are soaring. In Ontario alone, they've shot up 135%. These are people about to lose the homes they put their lifetime of savings and investment into. Younger people, they can't even consider buying a home with current prices. They're forced to rent. And that's not a solution. Rents have been rising as fast as the home prices. People are being forced to bunk up or move back in with their parents. Between the skyrocketing cost of living and the addiction epidemic, homelessness is chronic now and it's growing. In every province in the country as well, the healthcare systems are overwhelmed. Waiting times for hospitals and procedures are reaching new highs with every month. Schools, no different. They're under pressure as immigrants pour into the system faster than the system can expand to accommodate them. And let's look at the business world. In January of this year, just a couple of months ago, business insolvencies in Canada went up 129% over the January period of 2023. The taxes, regulations, interest rates, and anti-business climate in Canada is crushing our enterprises. Canada is becoming an investment pariah. While the Prime Minister might have no idea what he's going to do, and what he is doing to the economy, business leaders do. They won't put funding into the economic basket case of Canada. It's a global market, and we're being left behind. It's not just bad monetary policies that are keeping investment out of Canada. It's the environment and attacks on businesses themselves. I mean, grocers and oil companies executives, they've been dragged before parliamentary committees where they've been questioned on their business decisions. It's kind of Soviet-like in feel, but that's not surprising considering Trudeau partnered with a socialist to try and remain in power. How could any business leader want to come to Canada and set up shop in that sort of environment? Having the government constantly attacking and shutting down proposed resource development certainly isn't helping either. It doesn't matter if the nation sits on massive natural resource reserves if the government won't allow it to be developed. The most frightening indicator, though, of just how far up the economic creek Canada has gone is the GDP per capita ratio. To put it in lay terms, add up all of the economic output in Canada and divide it by the population. That's the ratio, and that ratio has dropped steadily for the last 6 quarters. The banks are calling it out, economists are calling it out. The only ones who seem unconcerned about it are the morons in government under Justin Trudeau. Let's look at the comparison. The GDP per capita in the USA is about 70,000 American dollars. In Canada, it's 52,000 American dollars and falling. The entire nation is becoming poorer, and quickly. Trudeau's been on a mass hiring binge of civil servants, but that only helps the unemployment figures. Civil servants don't contribute to the economy, they drain from it. I mean, Canada's faced depressions and recessions before. Hard times have come and gone, but what's happening right now is different. Canada's economy is being dismantled and destroyed by the most incompetent and ideologically driven government we have ever seen. The only question we have now is how long are we going to let this go before somehow finding a way to pressure that administration out of power? I mean, other countries, people will be out in the streets by now, but in Canada, we seem to be still stuck on watching reality TV. Trudeau might not like to think about economic policies, but I guess he's not alone. Canadian citizens don't like watching it either, but it's going to catch up with you. So guys, all I can say is it's going bad fast. Start paying attention. Let's get that boob out of office sooner rather than later, because it's going to take generations to clean up the mess he is creating. And some of it's our own fault. We've got to change it.